Hello, what's up, guys? It's Chris from KRS Boxing here, and this is the first episode of KRS Speaks Boxing. And today we're joined by 7-0 British prospect Dylan Cheema. How's it going?
How's it going, man? You good?
I'm all good, thank you. So,
Good, good.
fresh off the holiday, and of
Yep.
course, the win on the 30th of July. Could you run us through your performance?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to run through. I think, obviously, I'd only boxed on the 25th of June, so we wanted a quick, because I knew I was having a couple holidays and stuff, we just wanted to get out nice and quick.
Mhm.
So, we just jumped on a local show. Sky didn't have space on the Bournemouth card for me. So we just agreed that if I can just keep myself busy and just jump on a local show. We did, jumped on the BCB card and got what we thought was going to be a durable opponent, but ended up taking him out in 2 rounds. So got a nice little win, got a nice little stoppage on under my belt as well. Before I'd a good little break now, and then before we get going again for the second half of the year and get some more, hopefully get another win, hopefully a couple of wins under my belt for the years out as well.
Perfect. So, like a pretty routine win, we could say. How important was it for you to get out sort of after the Stu Greener fight? It was a tough fight. He just kept coming forward. His pressure.
Mm.
He's a tough opponent. And you fought him. To be fair, he was coming off a win, so he was already confident. That's probably why he sort of stayed in there as much as he did, especially when he was digging to the body.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I mean, the Stu Greener fight, I probably wasn't 100% myself. There were things that probably went on that I need to change, need to look at, and I did, and I have. So I just wanted to get a quick succession fight in and a quick succession win in as well. Following that fight, Stu was a good fight. Learned a lot from that fight. Learned a lot about myself. Showed a lot as well. People probably expected me to take him out. Obviously, the type of opponent he is, he's obviously is very tough, very very durable. Um, so yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get that win, get past that win, and get another one under my belt. But look, this is boxing. This is the game that I'm in. You don't put 100% performance what they all expect you to put in, then they're all jumping on your back. Um, so it is what it is. I know what I need to do to rectify it and to work on to grow. So do my coach as well, and we've made those changes. We learn fight by fight, whether we learn in the ring or stuff outside the ring. We just learn all the way through.
Absolutely. So, just taking a step back. So we've covered those two fights. How would you say? So for people who don't know, you started in kickboxing, right? So could you take us back? So
Yep.
when you sort of began that and that journey.
Oh man, yeah, like 10 years old. I remember walking. I didn't walk into the gym. My best mate's dad, my best mate at school, his dad was a kickboxing instructor. Um, and he just said to me, I think I was about 9 or 10. He said, "Just come down the gym." He lived around the corner from me. We used to train in Birmingham, so
Mhm.
his dad used to take a few of his cousins and that, well, a few nephews and that. We used to load up the car and we used to go. So he used to take us there and back to gym, and I just loved it ever since. He saw something in me, and then decided to throw me into my first sort of inter club competition. So it's someone from another kickboxing club
Mhm.
of ours, just in a different location. And it's sort of just to get the feel of what fighting's like, how it is. So I did one of them, and at that age, you don't really do head contact because it's
Mhm.
um,
Points? Is it point sort of base?
yeah, it's more points based. So I didn't do head contact, but I ended up breaking my nose,
Mm.
um, and and then I end up boxing again or fighting again 2 weeks later and lost, but I put a really good account for myself. Boxed a really experienced kid and done really well. Um, but lost. But from that, I just fell in love with it, and I never really looked back since. To be honest, did it? I've done it all the way through school, through to university. Now after university, they carried it on. So kickboxing really has been part of my life, and this I say this coach, it's Uncle Baggy, so everyone knows him as the dancer after the
Mhm.
fights.
Absolutely.
So Uncle really does bring that energy, brings that positive vibe that you need in training as well. And he actually trained the other two coaches. I've got Richard Wallace and Simon Akufo. Uncle Baggy trained both of them as well. So he's really the the guy when he
The man
says
at the top.
you're doing something,
Hmm.
you're doing it. Yeah, we all listen to him.
Absolutely.
We'll take his advice and take it on board as well because he taught them guys. He's now them guys now passing that knowledge on to me, and we're all working together. So you know, kickboxing really did pave the way for me, and you know, it was probably my first love. But now obviously I've fallen in love with boxing now.
Absolutely. Oh, we know you know him with the drums. How did that sort of start? So the entrances with the drums,
Do
everything
you
like
know?
that.
Do you know what? That's been going for years.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, kickboxing or the level of kickboxing that we was on, even though I was fighting professional world titles, that it just never got sore because kickboxing is a completely different world to boxing.
Hmm.
Um, I've been using that for years, and so have my coaches. They've all walked out. You know, Waller's English, Simon's mixed race, and they've walked out with the drums as well.
Don't
So
know. That's a
they've been
great.
using it back in the day, and I've been using it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, when we got announced in the tournament, the first thing that I said to my manager was, "Get me on the Coventry show. However you're going
Absolutely.
to get me on, just get me on, or get me in the tournament, or whichever way." So he did that. I said I need my drums on it as well. And
Hmm.
before I even asked him, he'd already come back to me and said, "You're in the tournament, and I've already approved the drums." Smashed it. I was like, good, because for me that's gonna we're on the platform. It's gonna really
Really sure.
show off our culture on the biggest
Absolutely.
platform, and no one else is doing it. And I just really want to do that as well. So obviously, and it's something that I've always done in my interests. So I just wanted to carry that on as
Hmm.
well.
Absolutely. So I read that it was your first time getting the win, actually in your hometown while competing in Coventry.
Yeah,
So you just mentioned it was a big thing for you to compete there. So how did
yeah,
it
that's it.
feel to sort? Yeah, absolutely. I'll go
Yeah,
for it. Go for it.
that's it. It was like it was a big thing for me because I've always I've always fought in Birmingham or gone to Manchester
Hmm.
or travelled around. Predominantly, I've fought out of Birmingham area. So to get it in Coventry and then to have the support from Coventry, I say Coventry, but I had people travel from all over to come watch me. So to have the support from Coventry behind me was like massive. Um,
Hmm.
and to have that my first ever fight in Coventry, be it such a big fight, be it such a big win, to really put me on the pedestal and take me up to the next level, it was like it just meant everything to me, and it was just it was really, it was a really big achievement for myself, for my team, for my family, and for everyone watching as well, because I think we proved something that night that you know Sky and Boxer can get behind Punjabi Sikhs, and
Absolutely.
the community gets behind the fighters as well. But also they can come back to Coventry and really have the big nights back in Coventry again because Coventry turns out, it does the numbers.
Hmm.
Look at the last show on the June 25th. That was, I think that was a sellout show. We sold. I couldn't get any more tickets. I was struggling to get more tickets because people were just asking me for more.
Hmm.
So they could have gone bigger, but obviously they chose that venue. So you know, there's that night on the boxing tournament proved for a number of different things.
Absolutely. How did it make you feel? So you scored your first professional boxing knockout as well against Otis Luckham. How did that make
Yeah,
you feel? He was undefeated as well.
I mean, to be honest, on the night I
Hmm.
wasn't thinking about anything other than
Hmm.
get the fight done, relax, warm up, get the next fight done, relax, warm up, get the next fight done. I wasn't like the knockout. Once I knocked the guy out, once I knocked, so we had planned all this in training, right? So
Hmm.
even down to timings of how long it's going to take in between the first fight and the second fight and the third fight, we'd done all these different variations of timings because we need to know how long we've got. I need to know how I felt. I need to tell my coaches how I felt. If I was sore, if I was if I need longer to warm up because my body would cool down. So we did all this in training. So once I knocked Otis out, I did that little jog to the corner. As soon as the ref waved it off, you see me do a little bit of a roar. As soon as my coach
Hmm.
jumped in the ring, they gave me a big hug. But before that point, my mindset was already right. Breathe, get your body, uh, get your
Composure.
body to rest,
Hmm.
get your composure back, get the rest in now, and we need to think about the next one. So that was it. So even then, when I beat Melvin, I was like, right,
Hmm.
okay, same process, get back in change room. Only differences, we kept the gloves on because it was only a short amount of time, and that was it. Go in the change room, have a little bit of whatever I'm gonna have, little drinks, a little something to eat, and then warm up, go again. So, we'd done all this in training. Like I wasn't bothered about the knockout. Yeah, it was a nice little knockout. It was good to have, but I'd already thought I was already miles ahead.
Absolutely. Looking at the Melvin fight, he's a very technical boxer, and we could see in the second round he had a little bit of success. But of course, I had just scored round one and round three. I think that was a pretty sort
That's how I scored it.
reasonable. Yeah, reasonable
That's
score.
how I scored it. So I mean, look, we knew Melvin. The game plan for Melvin was like just to keep the pressure on him. Don't give him space. Because we knew he was a good boxer and he's an established amateur boxer. But we knew I had the size and I probably had the power. And that played the difference as well. So where he was trying to land 1 or 2, I was trying to land 5 and 6. That was that. I think that was what the difference was. So round 1, I think I'd edged it. Round 2, I did try to step off and tried to box him a bit more and got my head pinged off. Arguments. It is what it is. I tried, and it didn't work. I sat back in my corner and I said to my coaches, I know what you're going to tell me. I know what I need to do. That's it. They just said, right, breathe, get your breath back, have a sip of water. And last words were, make sure you stick it on him, make sure you put the pressure on. That's it then. Because we were fighting, every fight was the last fight, essentially. When you don't go through, so every fight was your last fight. So, and then the third round, it just we just had to put it on him and just really pick up the pace. And as we went through that final round, I picked up the pace more and more and more, and then that made the difference as well.
Absolutely. Did you feel that fight settled you in? Because I noticed in your post fight, it didn't matter who won between Charlton and I think it was Cooper. You fought.
Yeah.
You basically said it doesn't matter whoever's next to it. Oh, let's have it basically.
Yeah, and that was my mindset the whole way through. It was the look of the draw in terms of who you get. You could get three of the best opponents one after another. But I thought I did have a tough pick of the draw.
Absolutely.
I think Melvin's side was
Melvin was a good guy. Charlton was a tough guy.
Yeah, Charlton had probably the easier for what you want to call it
for the tournament.
Yeah, but obviously we had prepared and my coaches were confident that I could beat anyone in the tournament. Now, when I say that, I mean there were some that were going to be tougher fights and some that could have been easier fights. So, the way that we'd done it was a way that we needed to get it done. And I was focused on what I needed to do, not who was out there.
Yeah, it was more about sort of getting the win for yourself, moving on.
Yeah.
I noticed in your pre-fight with Sky as well, you basically said you was like, I'm going to win, have a break. So basically what you described, then you'll see me do it again. What did it feel once your hand was raised against Charlton and you'd done everything you said you was going to do?
Yeah, literally, that was just like, it was just like, obviously we were ecstatic. It was just like a big win. It's like winning sort of like a world title, essentially. It's what we had trained for because that's what we expected. Everything that I'd said in the build-up came out in the night, and I believed everything I said. I was the underdog. I was the one that shouldn't have done it, but I was the one that did it. We was just, it was just a big moment for the team because it wasn't just me. My coaches put a lot into it. They've got jobs as well. They took time out from their jobs and seen their family, like I did as well. And we all put a lot into this training camp to get to where to achieve that night. So, it was just a proud moment for us all. And then it was always we had planned everything. We'd even planned how we're going to celebrate the win, and the whole dance afterwards was pre-planned. We knew we was going to do that because we knew we were going to win. So, it was it was just get Uncle in the ring, get the drums blasting, let's have a little dance.
Oh, absolutely. Wow, you can't say it better than that. What do you think? So I read that you was a 16-1 underdog coming in, and Ali was actually favoured. So if you think of it, Ali was 7-1 to beat Liston, and you beat double the odds when you look back now and you think I've got the win. How does that make you feel to win?
Yeah, it's mad. I was telling everyone as soon as the odd got announced. I think the odds got announced like on the Monday or the Tuesday before. I was telling everyone, whatever money you've got, like not saying put thousands or whatever money you can spare, 20 quid, 50 quid, £100, £200, whatever it was, put your money on me. Put it on me to
Forget
win.
4x. Let's put it on you.
Don't put it on me to win
Mhm,
by this Saturday. Just put me on to win the tournament, and that's it.
mhm. Absolutely.
And yeah, everyone that did was shaking my hand afterwards, saying, "You won me a lot of money."
Well, no complaints there, is there?
Mm.
So looking forward, Adam Azim, he's been mentioned with you, and he'd recently done an interview about 2 weeks ago, and they mentioned you fighting yourself, and they also mentioned fighting Royal Charlton. How do you think he would do in a fight against Charlton? Where would you see that one going?
I think Charlton's tough in it. You know, Charlton's game. I
Mhm.
think it'll be a test for Azim, but I think he would come through Charlton and probably
Absolutely.
it could stop him maybe later on. But
Mhm.
Charlton's tough, man. His game, he's
Mhm.
consistent with his pressure as well. So I think it would show something different for Azim to face as well.
Absolutely. You can really see with Roland Charlton, like he's a physical fighter. He don't stop coming forward. He's
Yeah,
pretty big at the weight, like he looks strong. So
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So looking forward ahead, you fought at like 140. You won it at super lightweight, 130.
yeah.
It was about 136
It was
pounds.
lightweight. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And looking ahead, so you last fight was at 147, just to keep busy. So where do you see yourself
Yeah,
sort of settling in the future?
so the last fight was at 147. That was purely because we had a change of opponent. The
Mhm,
weight was set at 140 pounds, but we had a change of opponent on the week. So they'd asked me to make 147, which I did. You know, that's comfortable for me. Is just jump on the scales. So you know, my weight, I'm a lightweight through and through. That's the
mhm,
weight that I'm going to be. That's the way I'm going to settle at.
mhm,
I could, you know, if there's a big opportunity to feather, I would make that. But at the minute,
mhm,
I'm sticking at lightweight. That's where I feel strong. That's where I feel comfortable. I make that weight relatively easily. So
mhm.
you know, that's where that's the division I'm going to be in.
Absolutely. I've noticed you haven't really spent longer than 4 months out of the ring. So when do you think we could expect to sort of see you back next on a Sky show, possibly?
This is probably going to be the longest break.
Hmm.
When I say longest break, I'm not talking about longest break off training. I'm talking about
Yeah,
longest break in between fights.
fights. Hmm.
So we're looking at November time. To be
Absolutely.
honest, so I've only had 3.5 weeks off training. So I
Hmm.
made my professional debut last October,
Hmm.
and up till now I've had 7 fights. Up till
Hmm.
now, I can tell you I've probably had about 6 weeks off training,
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
that, anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks off training. So you know, between the start of the year and now, I've only had 3.5 weeks off training. So my body's due a bit of a break. So that's why I'm going on holiday. I'm going
Hmm.
away again on to Turkey with my grandparents. So that'll just be a nice, relaxing holiday. Once I'm back, then we're back into camp. Last week of August, first week of September, back into camp, and then we're looking at a date for November to build back up and hopefully, you know, start picking up the rounds and start building up towards, you know, towards the longer rounds as well.
So, oh, well, I've just come back from Turkey. So that heat over
Uh,
there, phew, unreal. You're
I
looking like
can't wait. Do you know
41,
what?
43.
So one thing, it's
Hmm.
like it's scorching out. I'm looking outside the window, it's scorching outside today
Hmm.
in the UK, and I love it. Like training in the heat, just even just like just the heat in general, I just love it. So being out there
Absolutely.
in Turkey for a week, I know I'm going to be in my element. Just don't get
Absolutely.
sunburnt. That's the number one
Oh,
rule I've learned. Put some
yeah,
cream on.
absolutely. Yeah, it's needed, isn't it?
Mm.
Where do you see yourself sort of who would you like to sort of fight next if you had to choose?
To be honest, I leave that to my team. I'm
Absolutely.
focused on what I need to do. You know, I don't sit and call out names.
Hmm.
I've never done that. I never needed to. I never will do that. I'll just sit here and just do what I need to do and just stay in my lane and work on what I need to
Hmm.
get to. You know, I don't duck from a
Absolutely.
fight. I don't hide from a fight. I take a fight.
Hmm.
You know, because I can believe I can be the best. And if
Hmm.
that's the guy that's in the way, that's the guy that's in the way that I need to beat to get to. So, you know, difference is that I've not had a massive amateur background. I've had a big
Yeah.
kickboxing background, not had a big amateur background. So for me now, it's all about building up to those big fights, getting the right experience under my belt, ready for those big fights. You know, and I believe
Mhm.
you know within the next 18 months, I'll be ready for those big title fights.
Absolutely.
It's just getting to that stage, building up. You know, it's probably a different route to some of the other guys who've had
Hmm.
big amateur backgrounds. You know, I'm probably slowing down and building it up a little bit more slowly than probably they're having to do. But it is what it is. As long as it
That's it.
gets me to big title fights down the line,
Mhm.
that's fine, and that's all good with me.
Do you feel like you would like to travel sort of like a pretty solid route for British fighters has always been? It's like the British title, Commonwealth, European. Is that something you'd like to sort of go for and travel to get, and then world eventually?
Yeah, 100%. Like I always had my mindset on winning like an area title and then moving up to
Mhm.
English and British. So,
Mhm.
even if that's a route where I go straight into English and then go English
Mhm.
British, that's fine for
Absolutely.
me. Whatever the route that Sky Boxer and my team want to take for me, then that's the route that I'll go on. But obviously for me, all I'm bothered about is just winning fights and getting sticking to a boxing.
Absolutely. Sort of start to round this interview off, would you say, so after winning something like the Boxer series, just to feel like there's any sort of danger of rushing into fights, or do you think you trust in your team? I can tell you're all close knit. Do you want to
Yeah,
just sort of believe in them and see where it goes? How,
I trust my team.
mhm,
Fully trust my team. They you know they were confident in me taking the tournament and winning it, so I trust them for doing that. And
mhm,
listening to what they say, whatever journey my team want me to go on and whatever fights they believe I can take and win, I'll do what they say. Literally, I'll do what they
mhm.
say. There's no arguments.
Absolutely.
I'll do what they say. That's it.
Uncle Baggy,
But there's
that's it.
no other influences. There's no one else outside of my team can say you've got to take this fight. You've got to take that fight. No, it's what they want to do for me and how they want to
Absolutely.
position me. That it's all on them guys.
Just how does it feel to sort of be a Sikh boxer? Obviously, we mentioned that we've never had a world champion, so you
Yeah,
could be the first. We've got a few good Sikh boxers about. If you
we
wanted to
have.
give them a shout out or anything, that's
We
right.
have. Yeah. So there's that. I'm gonna say there's an army of us now. So we've got like
Hmm.
likes of Barraj Singh down in London. We've got Indabasi down in London. We've
Hmm.
got Gully Singh up in Wolverhampton.
Hmm.
So we've got the guys over in Canada. You got Sukdeep. We've got a couple of guys over
Hmm.
there as well. So I'm not the only one. That there are a few. What would be brilliant? What I would like to see is a first Punjabi Sikh boxing
Card.
card.
Oh, that'd be
Whether if
fantastic.
I'm top of the bill or whatever, whoever's top of the bill, it
Hmm.
doesn't really matter. The card's got to be like we've got the first women's only card, first seat boxing card
Hmm.
is something that I would like to see as well because I'm not obviously there's a lot more now that are coming through and I know there's going to be a lot more turning over pro over the next couple of years as well. So there's going to be a lot more of us, and for me, it's just like if I'm in the position now to help pave the way for the next generation, and by what we've all not what I've been doing, what we've all been doing with the support from the whole community,
Hmm.
we've shown to Sky that they can invest in fighters like myself
Absolutely.
and others, and hopefully they continue to do that and continue to pick up more talent as they keep going because that's where we're going to start to see the benefit and that's where it's all going to start to spiral like they have done with other cultures. Um, it's the turn of the seats now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd just like to say thank you for the time. And if you had any like socials you wanted to shout out, you can
Yeah.
just go for it. Where can fans find you? Watch this.
Wicked. If you can hit me up on Instagram, it's just Dylan.Cheema, or hit me on Twitter at Cheema Boxing. They're my main two socials that I use. I'm not a man of Snapchat or anything else like that,
No,
but
no.
Instagram I'm pretty active on. So just drop me a message. I'll always reply to everyone. So drop me a message, hit me up, or hit me on, send me a tweet on Twitter, and I'll respond as well. So yeah, I appreciate all the support. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Dylan replied to me so fast. Like literally, I seen you were like blown up after you won that
Yeah,
Boxer series. I couldn't imagine like you're just watching the likes on all the seat pages, and you got back to me. So I just like to thank everyone for watching,
yeah.
and I hope you enjoyed it. It's been KRS Boxing out.